Hello there, welcome to Recap Master Channel. Today I bring to you an action science fiction Chinese movie named Shanghai Fortress. In 2035, aliens have wiped out almost all of the megacities around the globe to get their main source of energy, Xianting. Will Shanghai be able to defend itself and maybe even launch a counterattack? Let's find out. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. In the near future, a Chinese spaceship comes back to Earth with a newly discovered energy source called Xianting. Within just a few years, it replaces traditional energy sources and cities see unprecedented and super fast development. Unfortunately, using so much of this energy also gets the attention of a species of aliens that one day bring their ships to attack all the major cities across the globe as revenge for stealing the Xianting. The attack comes as a total surprise and leaves all the cities in ruins without Xianting to depend on. Eventually, the leaders of 97 countries hold an emergency meeting in Shanghai to create a unique defense system to save the last standing city in the world. Using a simulation that plays the aliens sending their flying robots for another attack, the Grey Eagle team, formed by Jiang, Zhang Yi, and Pan, controls the latest models of military drones to engage the robots in battle. Their teamwork is excellent because they each have skills that complement each other, and they were trained by Commander Lin Lan herself. Commander Yun is very happy with the results and notices Jiang is particularly good at piloting. Lin Lan confirms this by saying he's the best by far. It turns out Jiang used to be part of the logistic team that built the Shanghai cannon, which has allowed Shanghai to be the last standing fortress. But as things worsened, he joined the battle team to assist. After another day of training, Jiang rushes to the elevator to leave with Lin Lan, whom he has a huge crush on. Today is Lin Lan's birthday, and Jiang wants to give her a flower, but he is shy and hesitant. By the time he gathers courage, Lin Lan is already leaving the elevator. Later at home, Jiang sends her a message about today's training and is pleased to see her response that he did well. Later, Yun informs Lin Lan that New Delhi has also been attacked by aliens and requests that she use the information gathered there to strengthen defenses. Suddenly, Code Red is announced in the fortress. An alien mothership has appeared above Shanghai. People start panicking all over the city, but the soldiers quickly direct them to the appropriate shelters before joining their teams at the fortress. Among its many defenses, the city has a special force field that stops the mothership's laser beam as it launches its attack. However, the force field cannot hold up for long, and when the beam creates a hole, the aliens send an army of robots through it before the engineers can repair it. The pilots immediately launch their drones to combat them, taking care not to injure any civilians who are still fleeing to a shelter. One of the robots approaches the fortress and lands in the middle of the road, causing a car accident that nearly kills a girl, but Jiang pushes her out of the way just in time. The robot then begins shooting at everything in its path, prompting the artillery team to open fire in an unsuccessful attempt to stop it. Jiang tries to help as well, but Lin Lan's tank arrives and destroys it in seconds. The drones finish taking down the remaining robots just in time for the engineers to finish fixing the force field, so the mothership leaves the area for the time being. Later, the science division informs the committee that they scanned the mothership during the battle and discovered a weakness in it. The committee wants to use the Shanghai cannon to hit it, but Yun refuses because a counterattack could endanger people's lives. Afterward, Yun takes Lin Lan to a secure facility to explain that Shanghai has the last deposit of Xianting, which is highly unstable and the only thing that keeps the city running, along with the fortress and force field. If they fire the cannon, they will waste all of the remaining Xianting and render the city defenseless. The best way to keep the aliens at bay is to keep training their Eagle team so they can eventually replace the force field. Meanwhile, Jiang and his friends are hanging out on a rooftop, sharing a drink and fantasizing about what they would do with their lives if they were not at war. Pan in particular wishes to finish his bike and ride it freely. They are abruptly interrupted by an emergency call announcing that the city is being attacked again, so they rush back to the fortress ready to fight. As usual, the force field rises to stop the incoming beams, but Pan notices something strange. Despite the fact that many holes have been drilled in the shield, the enemy robots continue to avoid attack. This makes him realize that this is a trap. The aliens are forcing them to repair the field repeatedly in order to exhaust Xianting and leave the city defenseless. The next time a beam passes through the field, it causes significant damage inside the fortress, allowing the robots to finally enter. The soldiers have no choice but to fight face to face, but bullets are insufficient and many die as a result. The Eagles join the battle as backup to help, but they can't do much and prefer to go inside to gain control of the drones. While the Eagles use the drones to start fixing the force field, the committee ignores Yun's orders and sends a man to activate the cannon. They don't use full power to avoid losing all of their Xianteng, but the mothership is hit hard enough. The Eagles also successfully repair the field, leaving the mothership with no choice but to leave. A nearby robot reveals that it is not as destroyed as previously thought. Later in the evening, the Eagles devote some time to their personal interests, and Jiang finally invites Lin Lan on a bike ride. However, this is a dream, and when Jiang awakens, he discovers more good news. The Eagles have been promoted as a result of their outstanding performance last night. Yi decides they need to celebrate their promotion, so the team goes to a club to have some fun, but Jiang can't stop thinking about Lin Lan. Yi notices his mood on the roof and advises him not to be afraid to confess his feelings to Lin Lan because he never knows if the aliens will allow him to do so in the future. Later, the team watches on television as the man who shot the cannon receives an even better promotion, and during his speech, he mentions a loved one. Jiang thinks this is Lin Lan and gets in a very blue mood. Later that evening, Jiang visits a noodle restaurant for dinner and is surprised to see Lin Lan there. They discuss the pressure of saving the world and mourn the lives lost in battle. Given Lin Lan's nervousness, Jiang is finally brave enough to give her the gift as a way to cheer her up. Jiang sends her a message after she leaves, inviting her to meet the next day, and he is pleased to see that she accepts. The following day, Pan and Zhengyu dress Jiang in a leather jacket to impress his date. However, Yi believes it is inappropriate and requires him to wear his uniform instead. Moments later, Jiang meets with Lin Lan and is disappointed to hear she only wanted to meet to check on the generators. While Jiang performs maintenance, Lin Lan tells him about her training days and how her father was a cold soldier who died in battle. Lin Lan can't stop crying at the memory, and as she looks up at the sky, she tells Jiang that she hopes they can create a future in which children can look up and see stars rather than the beams that maintain the force field. Later, people become concerned when they notice the ground beginning to split as if an invisible earthquake has struck the area. Ian informs the committee that the energy deposits are unstable and the use of the cannon has exacerbated the situation, indicating that the force field may collapse soon. Suddenly, an alert warns them that cracks have appeared on the force field, so Iyun rushes back to the command center to direct the Eagles in repairing them. The field has returned to normal as a result of skilled teamwork, but only for the time being. At that point, a robot breaks through the roof into the command center and starts killing people. The soldiers attempt to stop it with their guns, but bullets cannot penetrate it. Pan tries hitting it with a fire extinguisher, but it doesn't work and the robot hits him back before dragging him to the force field panel to disable it. Pan activates the self-destruct sequence with his dying breath, leaving Jiang and Xingyu to drag a crying Yi out before the room explodes. The force field returns to its original position immediately after the robot is destroyed. In the evening, the team takes a moment to respect Pan and the other casualties, and Yi receives Pan's tags. When they return to their dorms, Jiang hands Yi Pan her bike key, which he had always wanted her to have. Later, the committee considers abandoning Shanghai, but Iyun refuses, revealing that he has devised a battle plan for their last chance. The plan is to disable the force field and direct all of that power into the cannon, making it powerful enough to destroy the mothership. The Eagles will have to be the defense rather than the shield, and the team accepts the mission despite the extreme danger. Iyun also instructs Lin Lan to remain in the Shenton room and stand guard. All civilians are evacuated to shelters until the streets are completely empty, allowing soldiers to fight more freely and placing tanks on every corner. Before joining the fight, each soldier places an item in a box that will last 100 years in the event that the city is also destroyed. Zhengyu leaves a letter for his parents, while Yi leaves Pan's keys. Jiang selects his phone, but first he sends a message to Lin Lang, confessing his feelings. Unfortunately, it is not being sent due to current power issues. This time, the Eagles will have to fly actual planes rather than control drones. As soon as the force field is turned off, the alien robots descend and begin a fierce battle in the sky. The Eagles coordinate their aerial abilities with an army of drones, but this is insufficient, and a few robots fly past them to attack the command center. Ian, who had encouraging last words for his team, died when the room exploded. Next, the robots begin to make their way to the Shenting facility, prompting the Eagles and tanks to rush to stop them. As another battle begins, with both sides losing soldiers by the second, Lin Lan checks the cannon and discovers it is fully charged. All they need to do now is wait for the mothership to move into position. The robots break through the ground defenses and one of them jumps onto Yi's plane. Jiang asks her to do a flip and flies closer to hit the robot with his own plane, effectively destroying the enemy but also setting fire to his own wing. Jiang has no choice but to flee in the emergency pod, which arrives in the midst of the battle. He immediately joins the fight with his guns, shooting at the robots robots as close as possible. When a robot is about to kill him, Yi appears and shoots it with her plane. Then she joins the fight on foot, determined to avenge Pan. Meanwhile, Zhengyu flies toward the mothership, attempting to move it toward the cannon. There are too many robots surrounding him, so he requires assistance. Yi rushes back to the command center, and while thinking about Pan, she activates a special grenade that takes out a good amount of robots, sacrificing herself in the process. Jiang uses Yi's plane to rejoin Xingyu in the air, and the mothership eventually moves. The cannon is immediately fired, resulting in a massive explosion that damages the surrounding buildings. When the dust settles, everyone is surprised to learn that the attack was unsuccessful because the robots defended the mothership. With almost no hope left, Lin Lan recalls why Yun left her there. The cannon was fired using the energy from the force field, but as a last resort, they can shoot once more with the remaining shunting energy. This will render the city powerless, causing the land to sink. Accepting the risks, the cannon begins to charge while Xingyu and Jiang continue to protect it. A robot sneaks into the shunting facility and begins killing everyone in its path, but Lin Lan pulls the lever, activating the last resort. All of the buildings and land begin to sink, bringing the robot down with them, and Lin Lan delivers a heartfelt speech before dying, causing Jiang to cry. To make matters worse, the soldiers discover that the cannon's guidance system has been damaged during the sinking. Jiang instructs them to open and lock the infrared guidance device in his position so he can guide the cannon, while Xingyu flies ahead to clear the way. The robots take the bait and pursue him, and Xingyu self-destructs, bringing them down with him. Now that the mothership has no protection, Jiang flies right into it to serve as a guide, and the cannon fires its final charge, destroying the ship for good. Shanghai is gradually being rebuilt using traditional technology rather than shunting. It is then revealed that Jian survived by ejecting the pod just before the cannon hit, and he has been given the highest promotion. He still misses his team and enjoys revisiting places where they used to hang out. One evening, he goes to the noodle restaurant, and a coworker brings him the box where he left his phone. When Jiang checks it, he discovers that his confession was sent, but Lin Lan only replied received. Jiang sends her one last message, telling her to sleep well, with tears in his eyes. A flashback reveals that when Jiang decided to join the army, Lin Lan advised him on how to fill out the form. He fell in love with her that day, so he chose the fortress as his destination. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications and please leave a like to support the channel out.